Wow. They recommend a lot of stuff. You can't control what people do with their quote unquote First Amendment rights, their quote freedom of speech. You can't control what people do. They're going to say what they're going to say. Um, really, yeah, you can. No, you can't. No, because look, I'm the living embodiment of the Lord's Prayer, and I'm anonymous as they come. Uh, Most brave, most compassionate, most intelligent person on any source of media in the entire world at this time. And I'm not deluding myself. My, the Book of Revelation is about my life. Okay. And so that's far from deluding. And I wasn't aware of that until I ended up in Cochise County through economic manipulation in 2006. Okay. And then got horribly predicated on and abused by military intel manipulation of people sexually after my abused wife. And my wife was having an online affair with a guy named Mateen, okay, who was from Australia or whatever and stuff. He was in the Middle East and he was doing stuff with, terrorist cells. And she was having an online affair with him on Skype. And I was like telling my wife, Amy, you do know you're on George Bush's watch list and everything. You can't do this stuff autonomously or anonymously. It just doesn't work that way. Not with the Patriot Act. As soon as people are online and they're talking about this stuff, it has flags on it and the technology targets it and stuff. And then my next thing I know, my wife ends up being the circulation director at WIC Communications outside of Fort Huachuca. We end up there. And they're testing to see how I work with this kind of stuff. Now, I was very critical of my wife, saying, this guy's an asshole. He sits there and talks about how do we have to kill all these Jews because they're killing all the Palestinians. And I was like, that's not the answer. Mass murdering people through corporate genocide and reacting to that corporate genocide is not the answer. In order to be a good person, you get up and you expose the disgustingness and you be the evidence of real truth and faith and courage, like me. So, but she ended up, getting totally screwed around. And it was really difficult on her, and she was really manipulated by the perverts in the military that are still doing what they're doing today. Okay. And with what they're doing with their quote unquote free speech, okay, you are given the capacity to communicate by the infinite essence that provides life to your bodies. Okay. That's what you're given the capacity to communicate with. You're not given community capacity. You're not given the capacity to communicate. Okay, by a bunch of assholes with equipment and money. Okay, you're given the capacity to communicate by the glory of God. In the beginning, there was the Word, and the Word became flesh. Right. Is that what you think? You think that's what he's saying? You think that's what he's talking about? Okay. In the beginning, there was the Word, and the Word became flesh. Okay. So the capacity to speak faithfully so we can live faithfully was given to us by infinite glory and not by you knuckle fucks. Okay. And if you Tom Homans, he's no one knows Donald Trump better than him if he ain't talking to Kristi Noem there. Then the capacity to communicate just doesn't work well with any of them. I love Ralph Earl Parsons Jr. Me too. I'm being facetious. I don't quote unquote love myself. Okay. I love people. Okay. I understand that I'm a person. Okay. And when you love others, the gift of love is its own reward, right? When you love one another, when you love other people, the reward eternally is beyond measure, right? I'm the guy from the book of Revelation. I'm the one who redeems the true faith of Adam, Moses, David, Jesus, John, Malachi, Melchizedek, Muhammad, Hud. You see what I'm saying? Okay? The rewards I get for being a faithful spirit, for the showing faith in the glory of the soul that provides life to this eternal spirit of this man, okay, far exceed anything any of you crazy knuckle vulgar intercoursers can do or say, okay? There's a reason why Barack Hussein Obama's not the guy, Earl, the son of Ralph and Mary in the book of Revelation. There's a reason why it's not him. There's a reason why it's not Donald John Trump. Why it's not George Herbert Walker Bush. Why it's not William Jefferson Clinton. Okay? Why it's not Pope Francis or Pope Leo or Pope John Paul. There's a reason why it's Ralph Earl Parsons Jr. I'm the son of Raphael and Mary. Yeah, and good old Gabe and Mike. Yeah, the characters. There's a reason why Gabriel and Michael aren't the Messiah from the book. Okay. And why Patrick's not, and why Isaac's not. Okay. The focal point, the timing. I notice when I watch a lot of these videos and they have these kiddos, and they're talking and, this poor girl, she sounds like she came out of the shower and I had to tell you this, love, she sounds like freaking Michael Youssef. And beloved, I tell you, God has a plan for your life. And if you follow this plan, beloved, I will have more money than Davy effing fucking Crockett and Forrest Gump put together, beloved, I tell you. And I will give you the Gospels on surveillance equipment in your house, in your language, so we will know exactly what the fuck you're up to, and if to promote you on shows like Oprah Winfrey, or to incarcerate you, or use you for genocidal operations of welfare scams. Okay. They're going, fuck. Okay. Guys. Okay. Just because they write on a piece of paper, we can't watch everything you're doing with your cell phones, your TV, and your video game systems, and we can't manipulate them with you while you're sleeping. It's against the law. Really? But the Lord said, forgive debt and trespass, love, all eternal, faithful peace. That he did. That he did. He also said, God's omniscient, omnipotent, and the essence of all life. And if you have faith in God, you will deliver yourself from your own evil and forgive debt and trespass, love, all eternal, faithful peace, and not trespass on other people to draw them into debt so you can institutionalize them, indoctrinate them, and incarcerate them. Right! Wizard, you shall fall. I thunder the barbarian. I'm being silly. But, Earl, do you understand what kind of wackadoodles I'm dealing with? And that you are under a spell of the wackadoodle wizard of Hogwalog in St. Louis, in the desert city. And Ariel can't get her hands together to perform a magic spell to get you free from there, so I have to use my thunthroid out of my mouth. It's the truth that comes out of my mouth. And the faith is my faith is my shield. I'm being facetious, but I'm actually being... My sword is the truth that comes out of my mouth. And faith is my shield. And I don't have any human-forged weapons. Okay? My protection is the truth. The sword is the truth that comes out of my mouth. And my faith in infinite glory is the shield eternally of my faithful existence. Okay? The spirit and the soul being greater than the mind and the body. Okay? The body is merely a trap for the soul if the mind decides, hey, I'm a great scientist, right? I will eliminate all religion with all my great science omnipotence. Here, sign this. Would you like to sign a waiver? 266, just look at me. That's all I say. I'm sorry. Same guys that sing the Big Bang Theory song. Okay, which I like that other song better, which I don't think I'll have it on my MP3, but I am going to get. Okay. Listen to it again. I'm like, Damn, I like that. So that guy has a good voice. I already have a Native New Yorker by all you disco haters are stupid. That is such a cool song. Val fell in love with it. She brought her 45 brought her home. And I thought it was a guy. She has a very deep and rich voice. She has a wonderful voice. Okay. But I thought it was a dude. Everybody's like, what? 2 words. Wayne Cooper. Okay. Ted Mills. Okay. I thought it was a guy. Yeah, I thought Odyssey was a guy singing the song because young and pretty New York City girl, 25, 35, hello baby, New York City girl. You grew up riding the subways, running with people up in Harlem, down on Broadway. You're no tramp, but you're no lady. Talking that street talk, you're the heart and soul of New York City. Where did all those yesterdays go? When you still believe love could really be like a Broadway show. You were the star. When did it close, oh girl? I love that song. Don't you? I love that song. I don't just like it. I love it. Okay. I had many dreams and visions about a girl growing up to that song in New York. It was weird. Yeah, she changed throughout time. It was pretty interesting. Now, Ariel, I thunder the barbarian, free you from you. Now I just look at it as just the mindfuck of a little boy that jealous people hated because his life story was in the book of Revelation and theirs wasn't, which I completely understand. But then the one little girl, she was talking right. The one that washed her hair and said, she goes, you've been this. And I was like, no, I've always been a kid. A lot of people think that. And my mom, he's been a little old man, and my son. Maybe she's talking about my son Patrick. I don't know though. Well, I always allowed him to be a kid too. And his Char and Steffi used to, but me and Patrick, well, he liked the collectible toy things and stuff like I did. Stuff we had a lot of things in common. And he would have to save up his money, and then when he got everything, he'd take care of it, right? But everybody destroyed it, and City of Las Cruces, the U.S. military, stole all his childhood memories. All of them. It was horrible. They went through Dad's garage and took everything that Patrick had. There's nothing left. They stole everything. Okay? The way they tortured and abused me and my son. I think it's harder. I don't know. I don't really have anything left there. They always, when I went to the service, my mom and my sister sold all my stuff out of the garage and all the old records at a garage sale and stuff. Yeah. If I put it out in the garage, well, obviously, you put it out in the garage, he doesn't want it, right? When people are manipulated by the stupidity of money and how to survive the stupidity of money, they just take things that they think that you don't think are important anymore and they just sell it. All your memories, like when Amy, got upset with me because she was having an affair with a guy that wanted to sign off on Nellie's birth certificate to get his citizenship and was using her. And I think on subconscious record, she knew it, but she was mad at me for being good. And we were never going to be happy or comfortable in this society if I kept trying to be good. That the only way to be happy and comfortable in this society is do what the selfish people say to do, and then they'll make you happy and comfortable. It's like, how can you be happy and comfortable being business partners with a selfish fucking pig that gives you the Epstein files? William Jefferson Clinton. Da-na-na-na-na. Here's your piece of paper. Now take the little tassel. Yeah, fuck you. Everybody's doing the hustle. Bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum. Feels like Van McCoy. I do too. Yeah, I like Van McCoy. Earl, I'm not a schizophrenic. I'm just... My mind is... I have 10,000 million views coming at me all at once. Okay. And everybody's like, what? Past, present, future operate at the same time, and I'm the Messiah. You guys have like 18,000 views to trend and make money and pay your bills and get a check from advertisers, and go, oh, wow, this is working. Until you're putting all your cash in a wheelbarrow and go into the store and can't pay your bills or buy your groceries, and then you're prostituting your daughter in the street. Was that? No, that's only yesterday. In the year 3510, if God's coming, he ought to be here by then. Yeah, Germany. Yeah. After World War I, all the Allies got together and decided that the bad guys were Germany because they were trying to get upstart and take over the world and be the world leaders that they once were. And they made them pay for the whole war, thus causing the second, right? So forgive debt and trespass, love, violence, wrath, life, peace. They can be taught, right? See how much more intellectually astute my mind is, even though you listen to it and think, what are you talking about? Did you ever listen? I sat and watched that one kid, and he sat there, the skinny kid with the bald, and you allow, all this bullshit they taught you allowed them to be in their lives, and they're only a significant, you were the most significant part of it. And they were very insignificant, and they fed off your greatness. And you had to tell them if you were going to the store, because it had to be all about them. It's like, my first wife was kind of like that. You had to get her okay for everything because she was so insecure and so abused that she'd become so abusive that it was almost intolerable to just even be in the same state, county, state as her. It's like, where do you want to go? Far away, right? You didn't want any influence, anything, and I told my second wife about this. She's Hurricane Stephanie. And when she comes in, it's like, but the cool thing about it is she lives across town, okay? She lives somewhere. And we all have to see her maybe once because it's all about her, unless you're affecting her money or something like that. And everybody's like, you give in to her. When it wasn't worth it to get the tax return money that my sisters and everybody, you got to get that. She's stealing that from Patrick. It wasn't worth it. She ended up getting Patrick through the courts, manipulating him, spending a larger amount of time in his life because he was an economic boon to her. No, if I just let her keep taking all the tax money and stuff, I still have Patrick in my life. I would never lost him to the courts. I don't know if I ever would have gotten with Amy, but everything went the way it was supposed to. And I don't regret a damn thing. And I don't go back in time. I could have done this, could have turned left and up. No, I can't imagine not having the memories of, don't worry, boy, I'll get you another. Daddy, it's so easy to fall in love. Kangaroo. Old Noah. Yeah. Trust me. Well, there was tons of pain, tons of horrible pain. Have you ever had to, because your kid wouldn't eat right because he was self-destructive through his genetics, and he was being bullied by all the creeps in Cochise County's kids and the effects of the scientists. And you have to give your kid an enema. That's horrible. Me and Amy had to do that because we were worried he was going to back up and die. That's that. I said, no, we're not doing this again, Amy. Let's just keep him at home, and I'll try to manage and help him have a better diet, and I'll just homeschool him. And then you get the authorities come, you're neglecting this child. He has forms of dyslexia, and you're abusing him by not putting him in school with professionals to make him understand how to survive this hell from all these bullies. Okay. It's horrible. Guys, what's the good in teaching your kids to read if it's for indoctrination, for institutionalization of incarceration? What good is it to teach your kids to read? Okay? If people don't understand God's omnipotent and omnipotent and not a possessive pronoun or first person in the make-believe land they've made up in their head after they die, what good is it teaching your kid to read? Right? Do you remember the days of slavery? Do you remember what Marcus Garvey said? A people without a knowledge and a history are like a tree without root. He got that from Haile Selassie, the Messiah. Marcus Garvey is tribal, secular, and insular, and saw himself as the color of his skin and not the soul provided by the glory of God. and that the color of skin just happens because of tribalism, secularism, and sex cult racism, and not because of the glory of God, right? That's because Haile Selassie is the Messiah, and Marcus Garvey, okay, was a tribal, secular, insular racist. People, if Maxi Priest don't like hearing that, we ain't got to meet and hang out at a barbecue. It ain't going to hurt my feelings none. Okay. Marcus, we love you. I love Marcus, but I don't like the way he betrayed my Messiah, Haile Selassie. And I don't like the way he broke people into groups fighting over the color of their skin, over money. No. Okay. Now, Haile Selassie, every day I try to reflect his faith and his love to the best of my ability so everyone will know who he is and what he did for all of us, right? And that people don't want you to know, you know. Why do you think they killed the Kennedys? You think it's because they thought Haile Selassie was just a Broadway show? It's a thought they had in a taxi cab that got left in the dirt. And he dropped you off, and you should know the score by now. You're a native New Yorker. Bum, bum, ba-na-na-na. Right? There you are, lost in the shadows, searching for someone to set you free from New York City. Right? He already did. Yeah. He came and walked around New York City. I don't have to go to New York City. And what's the name of that place? RESCUE, Rescue Aid Society. The UN, yeah, the UN. Nah, Haile, Judy already talked there. Haile already visited there. All the men that I talked to that are eternal angels, they've already been there. I don't need to go. When I'm done cleaning up this hellhole, I swear I'm going to Silver City, hanging out in the Gila. Go Mustangs! That's all I'm going to do. Some gardening, Find me a girl with brown eyes that likes to shimmy, shimmy, cocoa bop and garden too. Orale! There we go. I'm good to go, right? That's all I need. And always keep the door open for Patrick, Ray, Chuji, Plum, Snuggy, and Crumb is the cake, and the cake is the crumb, and it's crummy, crummy cake. All right. Okay, guys. I love you guys very much. Be good. If you can't be good, please try to shut the hell up. I got to fix this technology, and you're not helping when you're talking about bullshit, money, and possessive pronouns in first persons for money, okay? Love you, all right? Peace.